Alright, so these are the pros and cons of AEW being around. 1. Tony Khan is passionate about pro wrestling. I at least respect that. You know, the fact that he's a billionaire and he's very passionate about professional wrestling. Like, he's a huge Mark fan for it. Like, he has a good understanding of the history of pro wrestling. He's been watching his whole life, so I respect that he loves the art of professional wrestling. 2, when it comes to AEW, the positive thing is they make people more money on YouTube, and it gives wrestlers a huge kind of backup plan, like a huge blanket once they leave the WWE, depending on if they are a big name. It gives people financial security once they leave the WWE. So that's a huge positive. And of course, talking about AEW makes people more money on YouTube. So there's a wider range of making money when it comes to talking about pro wrestling. That's not the WWE. Now 3, it gives people more things to talk about. It's like we don't have to talk about Raw and SmackDown and NXT all the time now. We can just say there's like other options. AEW gives people more options. It widens the conversation outside of the WWE. That was never the case 4 or 5 years ago. So that's a positive where we don't have to always talk about the WWE. So that is a positive. That is a pro. And 4, you don't need to be a hardcore fan to watch AEW. And here's what I mean. 4 or 5 years ago, when it was just Impact Wrestling and New Japan, you couldn't be a casual watching those shows. You had to have been a hardcore fan to watch Impact and New Japan. It's like I was barely watching New Japan because I'm a hardcore casual. Like you have to literally seek out New Japan. Like you have to find it on your TV guide. You gotta find it on the internet. It's hard to find. That means you have to be a hardcore fan to want to keep up with that shit. That was the case 5 years ago. In order to find out who Kenny Omega was and Okada, dudes like that, you have to have been a hardcore fan to know who those guys were. Like, you couldn't watch them on cable. Really. Like, it was hard to find them on your cable network. But when it comes to AEW, bro, all you need is TBS and TNT. It's like all you need is cable, and you can just watch it anytime you want. So it's like a casual can easily flip to watching AEW. That's what I mean. Like, you have to be a hardcore fan to go out your way in watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. You got to be a hardcore fan to find it, like anywhere. But you don't got to be a hardcore fan to find TBS and TNT. It's right there. All you need is a cable provider. So you can be a casual and watch AEW. That's a good thing. And 5, the presence of AEW being around, it kind of allows people, it allows WWE cast-offs to leave and reinvent themselves on a large platform, and the fans will not forget about them. Meaning, You don't have to go to the indies. If you have a name, you can still stay on TV. You can still stay on cable TV. You can still stay on a large platform without being with a WWE. Once you get cut, hey, there's AEW who's on TBS and TNT, which is just as big a network as Fox and the USA Network. It's just as big, right? So that's a huge positive. You can still stay on a large platform and push your brand. So you can go from Fox, USA Network to TBS and TNT. That is a huge plus, huge positive. You can still stay on the mind of casual fans. Casual fans will not forget about you. Obviously, the hardcores won't, but I'm talking about the casuals would not forget about you if you go to AEW. Because a casual can flip to watching AEW on their TV network. Because TNT has the NBA playoffs, which means a casual can easily watch Dynamite or Rampage or some shit. That's a positive. Your brand will still be watched by millions of people. So those are the 5 pros. Now, when it comes to the cons, there is tons of cons, obviously. The number one con is that Tony Khan is too much of a fan. Like, he's too much of a fucking fan, to the point where it feels like he's more fan than a true businessman. That's a bad thing. His heart is too much in it. He's not cutthroat. Vince is a businessman and a wrestling fan 5th, okay? Him as a fan of wrestling, Vince McMahon, bro, that's like last on his priority list. He wants to make money, get ratings, and make more fucking money. Tony Khan is a fan. Tony Khan is he's the equivalent of the AEW fans that we deal with. Like, he is his fan base. He feeds off his fan base. That's what he is. It's like he is a neckbeard who's a billionaire. That's what I mean. He is what his fan base is. The difference is he's a billionaire and they're not, but he has their same mindset, same mentality. It's just the difference is he's a billionaire. So that's the huge part of it. That's a bad thing. He's a mark who's a billionaire. So just imagine a AEW keyboard warrior who's a billionaire. Like, that's too much power. Like, that's not a good thing. And 2, obviously the fan base is too fucking toxic. And they're very fickle. Hence why Cody Rhodes left. And hence why other people will leave right behind him, because of the fan base. You got fucking Tay Conti and Sammy G being stalked by some virgin neckbeard who is obsessed with her. That's a bad thing, bruh. That's toxic. Their fan base is extremely toxic and it's very fickle. Where it's like, if you think you were above their company, if you want to try to fucking branch out, they would knock you for it. Exactly what they're doing to MJF. Now, I think it's a work, but these marks don't think that shit is a fucking work. They think he is like that. They think this is fucking real. Once again, that's very toxic. People think he's selfish and, oh, you are burning bridges. Oh, get him out of here. If he wants to be Bruce Prichard's bitch, let him go. I'm like, bro, why would you even use that language, you fucking midget from New York? Like, let him go to that company to be Bruce Pritchard's bitch. Like, wow, man, how you a grown ass man. You a grown man, dude. It's like, bro, it's a TV show, bro. Like, this is a fucking business. If he wants to go somewhere, let him go. Like, why you crying like a spoiled little brat? Dude, there's 10-year-olds that act more mature than you. That's sad. Like, bro, you got grays in your beard. Like, act your fucking age, man. Like, it's just he's a fucking fake wrestler, man. It's like, this ain't real. His money is real that he wants to make. That's real, but other than that, this is all scripted, bro. Like, calm the fuck down. Again, toxicity. Taking shit way too far, way too seriously. Giving fucking death threats and booing people who founded your company. Booing the fucking Young Bucks. Booing Cody Rhodes. Soon they will boo Kenny Omega once he comes back. How the audience turned on Adam Cole. The same Adam Cole who y'all was dick sucking for 5 years now. The same Adam Cole where I was fucking drilling in your head that he's overrated. The same Adam Cole that I was like, bro, he is a small, tiny man. Why are y'all so high on him? It's like, I told y'all he's X-Pac. He has to be in a fucking faction at all times. I told you that. I've got tons of videos about this dude. So I was way ahead of the curve before all y'all. Oh, now y'all want to say he's fucking overrated now, huh? Well, after I gave you evidence that he's X-Pac. Every company he's been in, he's always been in a fucking group. Where it's okay, how come you can't get over by yourself? Adam Cole, why do you always gotta be in a group with lackeys? Why can't you be by yourself? Why do you need a group around you at all times? I said that. I always said his promos all sound the same. Dog, I've said he's overrated for the past 5 years, but now all of a sudden, people, these AEW marks, think that shit is an insult that Adam Cole is paid more than MJF. No, it's not. He should be paid more than MJF. He has the better resume. He's the bigger name. He came from a bigger company. He was on fucking video games. He was the face of a brand for 5 years. So, of course, he should be paid more. The hell? Like, bro, he was in the Undisputed Era, the most pushed faction in fucking NXT history. He was the face of that brand. You were saying he was the next Shawn Michaels. You were saying he's gonna be the face of the company. You were saying he's a future world champion on the main roster. You were saying he's a future WrestleMania main event. You were saying he was a top 5 guy in the world. Now, fast forward 2 years later, you're saying he sucks. You're saying he's not on the level of an MJF now. The same Adam Cole that y'all was just crying and screaming about 6 months ago. Oh, now all of a sudden you're seeing the light now, right? Dog, that's fickle. Because 2 years ago, fucking MJF was not on the level of Adam Cole. But now you're saying he's some mega star now? No, he is not. He's not bigger than Adam Cole, not yet. Calm the fuck down. Stay in your lane. Keep that same energy that you have for him for the past 5 years. Fuck, Adam Cole has every right to be paid more than MJF. He has a better resume. If this was 2019, he would be paid more than MJF. Who would you pay more? Some nobody from fucking MLW or a free agent Adam Cole? Get the fuck out of here, man. It's like, dog, It's not an insult that Cole is paid more. He should. Kyle O'Reilly should be paid more than MJF. But Bobby Fish should too. Those guys were great in fucking NXT. They have a rate. They on TV. Max was not. Like, now he's a star now, but it took him 2 years to get to that level. So calm down. Don't do hindsight, because 6 months ago you were not saying Max was underpaid compared to Adam Cole. You were saying Adam Cole is a fucking star. Keep that same energy. Don't leave it. Don't be fickle. That's all I'm saying. That's toxic. That's what makes your stars leave. When you turn on them that fucking fast. Huh? Like, bruh, MJF was a low mid-card guy hanging with Cody Rhodes. Like, calm the fuck down. Oh, now he's some star now? Yeah, it took him 3 years. 3 years now, bitch. Shut up. Adam Cole should be paid more. He is the longest reigning NXT champion in history. He should be paid more. Who the fuck is MJF? Oh, what? Get the fuck out of here. But 3, 3 is they don't do a good job of taking advantage of growing their show and growing their stars to a mainstream audience. How come we don't see their young stars on TV shows? How come we don't see their young stars on fucking Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel? Shows like that. They don't do a good job on promoting and growing their company and their stars. It's like their stars are just niche, right? Max, he's niche. Wardlow, he's niche. The fucking mainstream don't know the mainstream don't know who the fuck they are. That's a problem. You're on TNT, you're on TBS, bro. Take advantage. Goldberg was on the Jay Leno show. Hogan was on numerous shows. Roddy Piper, Sting was on Walker, Texas Ranger. DDP was on TV shows. Savage. Raven was on fucking TRL, bigging up DDP. Do a better job on promoting your stars, man. Don't have it niche. That's why they're not growing. That's why it's like 1,900,000. That's their ceiling, which is sad. It's been 3 years, bro. You gotta reach to at least 1.2. If they had a consistent 1.2, I would shut up. I would think, okay, that's solid. At least they're over 1 million every week. But no, they fucking struggle because they have no growth. They have no range. Nobody knows who these guys are. It's niche. Hardcores know who they are, but not the mainstream, man. I mean, dog. We got Lacey Evans at NASCAR events. We got Big E at NASCAR events. We got Sheamus at NASCAR events. Promoting shit. We got Gable Steveson at the fucking NFL draft. We got Barry Corbin at the NFL draft. Tony Khan is the owner of the fucking Jaguars, and you didn't invite Wardlow to announce some picks, or Adam Page to announce some picks. You didn't do that. You see what I'm saying? He's not a good businessman. He's a mark who has billions of dollars. That's a problem. In 4, their show has not pushed the WWE in no way, shape, or form. People still think Raw is boring. People still think SmackDown is boring. What does that tell you? That tells you Vince does not care about AEW. He don't push himself to make better shows. He don't, because you know why? He don't have to. Why should he have to? And he's whooping their asses in ratings. Make that make sense. Why should Vince and Bruce push themselves to making 5-star caliber shows every week if AEW ain't doing their part on pushing them to make better shows. So they are just very complacent, and they should be. It's like, bruh, it's like a race. It's like, dog, I'm way out in front of you. Why should I slow down for you? Keep up with me, right? They're not doing that. You ain't pushing me to run faster because I'm already way steps ahead of you. You ain't pushing me. Dynamite has done nothing to push SmackDown or Raw. And the numbers reflect that. The quality of shows reflect that. That Vince, he's the same Vince. Bruce, he's the same Bruce, man. They are making the same shows they have made for the past 10, 5, 6 years, bruh. So what has AEW done to make the WWE better? Nothing. They don't give a shit. So that's 5. And 6, they are too obsessed with taking shots at the WWE. It's like, dog, don't take shots if you are not at their level yet. You ain't there yet. You are a underground rapper trying to get the attention of Jay-Z. That's what you are. You are a underground rapper trying to get the attention of Drake. And guess what? He's not going to respond to you because he's Drake. And you are underground. You are a niche rapper that makes fucking mixtapes. Drake, he's winning Grammys. He's winning awards. He's topping the charts. While you trying to take shots at him knowing that, bruh, you ain't on his level. You are making fucking mixtapes. Stop taking shots if you're not at that level yet. Fucking WCW, they were whooping the WWF's ass, so Eric Bischoff had every right to take shots. He had the numbers to back it up. And guess what? Vince couldn't do a damn thing, bro. I mean, dog, Vince couldn't do shit to Eric. Because Eric had the numbers to fucking back it up. So yeah, that's 6. You don't have the numbers to talk shit. It's like you are actually struggling. You are not where you should be 2 or 3 years later. You ain't where you should be at right now. AEW should be at 1.2, 1.3. At least. You got CM Punk, you got Dan Bryan, you got Dean Ambrose, Samoa Joe, you got Keith Lee. You got all these guys, man. You got Christian Cage, who came out of retirement. You got all this star power, and you can't reach 1 million? All this star power, all these future Hall of Famers. Chris fucking Jericho, bruh. You got all these guys, man, all these stars, man. You can't reach 1 million? That's a you problem. And 7, they are signing too many ex-WWE guys, and they have no plans for them. They just signed them just for the sake of it. They just signed them just to pop their audience for 1 week. Then the fucking next week and the week after that, they have no plans for them. It was just to pop a rating, to pop their audience. Why are you signing all these big names with no set plans for them? You talk shit about the WWE doing that, but AEW does it way worse, way more. It's like you fucking brought in Jay Lethal. You brought in these big names. You brought in Joe. You brought in John fucking Morrison. You brought in Keith Lee, Swerve. All these guys, be bringing in all these big fucking names with no set plans for them. That's why they end up on Dark. You brought in what's his name, Tony Nese. He ain't doing shit. You're signing all these guys with no set plans for them. That's a bad thing. And 8, they focus too much on wrestling. They focus too much on wrestling matches with no story, with no compelling story. Like, bruh, I don't know what CM Punk and Adam Page were fighting for. It's like, what were they fighting over? It's like, why were they so mad at each other? I don't know. The only thing they were fighting over was a title, but their feud had no story. Their feud was just based on a match. Dog, like, their whole show has no story. It's all matches. All fucking matches, no storylines that we care about. So that's 8. 9, they have too much of a reliance on MJF. That whole show is built around MJF. And you assholes think he's leaving, knowing that the whole fucking show is built around him. What felt more important? Wardlow versus MJF or Adam Page versus CM Punk? What felt more important? What did you want to watch more? I'll rest my case. I know what your answer is. It's fucking Wardlow and MJF. They have a weird strong reliance on MJF to carry their shows. He's their only storyline we care about. That's a bad thing, knowing that he is a mid-card guy who don't really challenge for titles. It's like every storyline, it's always the most focused, right? Jericho, that was a year-long feud. Him and Cody, that was a damn near year-long feud. Him with Punk, that was a long feud. He has been in a lot of feuds that we care about. Him and Darby Allin, right? That was a long-term feud. So my point is, they rely too much on him to carry their show. Like, bruh, if he's not on Dynamite, that show is fucking boring. I'm sorry, it is. Who is at his level on that show? Like, right now, that we care about. Where it's like, that storyline with him and Wardlow, bruh, that was the only thing that mattered at Double or Nothing. Literally. That's sad. Tony Khan has too much of a reliance on MJF to carry a show when it comes to telling stories. Without him, what do they have? Right? What do they have? CM Punk is a boring guy if he don't have a guy like an MJF to feed off of. Why? Look at fucking Adam Page. I didn't care about that match. Why were they fighting? Why were they fucking fighting? Dude, even when Kenny Omega was the champion, all we cared about was MJF. What was he saying? Who was he in a feud with? Right? That's all we care about. And you think he's leaving? Knowing that the whole show is built around him? Come on, man. It's like, bruh, he is their Roman Reigns. I said it. MJF is their Roman Reigns. The whole show is built around him. And guess what? He's not even a world champion. How does MJF feel more important than Adam Page? It's been like 5 months since he's been champion? 4 or 5 months? He has never felt more important than MJF. That is a problem. That's an issue, man. So 10, every person on that roster has a meaningless title reign that we don't care about. Nobody cared about Adam Page. People barely cared about Dean Ambrose when he was champion. People barely cared about Cody Rhodes when he was the TNT champion. I mean, do we care about Jade Cargill as a champion? I mean, no. I mean, she's fun to look at, but do we care about her reign? Do we care about Thunder Rosa? No, we do not. She's barely on TV to begin with. And there's proof. She is barely on TV to begin with. They have meaningless title reigns. That is a problem. We don't care about none of their champions. Maybe Jade Cargill. Other than that, we don't care about none of their champions. We don't care. And the last one, their roster is more bloated than the WWE. It's like everybody gets a turn. 1 minute we might see Danny Garcia for like 4 weeks, right? Getting a little strong push. 1 minute we will see Hook 5 weeks in a row getting a strong push. Then they cool him off. They always do that. We might see Starks for like 5 weeks in a row. Then they will cool him off. We will see Hobbs 5 weeks in a row. They will cool him off. We will see Sammy G for like a whole month getting a strong push. Then they will cool him off. See what I'm saying? Everybody takes turns getting some kind of push, which means that roster is fucking bloated. That means when somebody gets a push, that means other people's pushes gotta take a fucking back seat, right? That's a bad thing. What's his name? Wheeler fucking Yuta. Where the fuck is he at? Hold on. Shit. Where was he at? last fucking Sunday. Shit. I ain't see him. Unless I'm blind. I did not see Wheeler Yuta last Sunday. Unless I'm blind. I gotta go back. But he is a prime example. That dude had a strong push for like 5 weeks in a row. Now they fucking cooled him off. Now the attention is back on fucking Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose. See what I'm saying? They have too many stop and start pushes. That hurts your team. That hurts your product. That hurts your wrestlers. Enough with the stop and start pushes. If you're gonna push a guy, keep at it. Don't give him some kind of taste of the fucking big time, and then cool him off. That's what you're doing. Because I don't know where the fuck he at. I did not see Wheeler Yuta last Sunday unless I'm blind. I gotta go back and watch the match then, because I don't remember seeing him. Right? Nope. You know what? He was not in that match. Wasn't I think it was like 5-on-5, right? It was 5-on-5. It was Eddie, then a part of powerful, Dean Ambrose, and Daniel Bryan. Where was Wheeler Yuta? Once again, enough with the stop and start pushes. Okay, I'm done.